Welcome to the Reality Trifecta podcast. I am your host, and today we are going over The Amazing Race 38, Episode 9, and this has been a good, interesting episode. There is a new twist, and it's been a while since I last saw The Amazing Race, especially with their recent seasons. I am not familiar with this twist. But if it's new, interesting. So for the beginning of the episode, at the start of this leg, teams were instructed to fly to Athens, Greece. Once there, the teams had to travel to their first location where Phil Keegan surprised them with a live U-turn vote. After the vote, teams had to search the Acropolis for a man with an amazing race flag and their next clue. This leg's detour was a choice between Music in the Air or Olives Everywhere. In Music in the Air, teams had to bring a crank-operated piano called a laterna to the square and earn 10 euros from passers-by to receive their next clue. In Olives Everywhere, teams had to sample 10 varieties of olives and then correctly identify them to receive their next clue. After the detour, teams had to roll a boulder up the Hill of Muses, who had their next clue, sending them to the Dora Stratou Theater. In this leg's roadblock, one team member had to memorize and recite the 24 lowercase letters of the Greek alphabet before receiving their next clue, which directed them to the pit stop. So the teams encountered a live U-turn vote as a penalty for finishing last in the previous leg. Joseph and Adam received a penalty vote. Each team voted for two teams, with the top two vote recipients intended to be U-turned. Tucker and Eric received a majority of votes, with Jazz and Jag and Kyland and Taylor tied for second place. A revote was held between the two tied teams, as the vote was deadlocked following the revote. 3 teams were U-turned instead of 2. The teams' votes were as follows. Joseph and Adam voted for Tucker and Eric and Jack and Chelsea. Tucker and Eric voted for Kyland and Taylor and Jazz and Jag. Jack and Chelsea voted for Kyland and Taylor and Jazz and Jag. Jazz and Jag voted for Kyland and Taylor and Tucker and Eric. Izzy and Paige voted for Tucker and Eric and Jazz and Jag. Kyland and Taylor voted for Tucker and Eric and Izzy and Paige. Joseph and Adam received the penalty vote. So, that is how it all happened. That is how the tie started. And here are the results for the episode. Finishing in first place, it shouldn't be any surprise here. It's Jazz and Jag again. They have been dominating this season of The Amazing Race. So far, so good. And finishing in second place is a huge surprise. We have Jack and Chelsea playing the lower game of the race. They're always almost at the bottom of the pack, but they really made progress in this leg. And I feel like the U-turn vote played a huge role in this. Joseph and Adam finished third after finishing in last place in the last episode. Izzy and Paige finished fourth. Kyland and Taylor finished fifth, which was second to last place. And in last place, it was Tucker and Eric. What a huge upset, despite being so good this season. They finished last place. after a non-elimination leg. It is unfortunate. They had played a good race. Well, looks like it's the end of this podcast. I thank you all so much for listening, and I will check you guys in on the next episode next week. Thank you, and have a great day.